Hey guys, this is Noah, also known as Takeurlife from Texas. We're going to go ahead and do a little quick Dante tutorial on how to transition yourself into Ultimate from Vanilla. My main reason for doing this is basically Ultimate Dante is a nightmare. If you practice your Vanilla Dante and you labbed with them a lot, it's a real big pain to try to go into Ultimate. It hurt me a lot. I actually recommend if you're a tournament player and you play Dante on a consistent basis, like he's one of your main characters, sit down on a couple tournaments for a little bit. You're basically just gonna lose money if you go in without practicing a lot with the new Dante. He's quite different. He might look similar, but the way well, you'll see it as soon as you touch him. The way he looks, the way he plays is very much different to you. Like it's his combos feel different. He's got a lot of character-specific things, which is why I'm picking these 3 different characters. Yeah, everything's just it's a little more consistent, but you have to think more while you're doing it. So it's going to be pretty hard to go straight into a tournament and do well. First thing we're going to show is like his main tools are still intact. Airplay, which is his best projectile in the last game. You can still use it just as much. It actually got sped up, surprisingly. It got kind of buffed. It comes out in 9 frames instead of the normal 15 like it did in Vanilla. So it's still a very, very good zoning tool. You can still, frame trap with it and try to do a stinger into pull cancel and to do some more damage. So that's still really good. Hysterics are still intact. You can still use them in certain matchups, so they're still good with that. Like Hulk or whoever, so they have to burn a bar. You can also still double trigger out of them and get a free cross up with them. So that's pretty nice too. So that's still going on. We're gonna go ahead and move on to Stinger. So we're gonna set him up to block for me. Stinger is still very much the same move. Like frame-wise, it's the exact same frames. Range-wise, as far as I've seen, it's about the same range as well. So it's gonna be just as good of a tool for you. Like you see, it still covers about a quarter of the stage or so. It's still got quite a good reach on there. It's still slower than your other normals, of course, so you have to lead into it, but it's still very nice. You can still throw it into a block string as well to keep yourself safe, as long as you bold cancel into a reverb shock. Which, speaking of reverb shock, it's actually still very godlike. It's still basically your sideways Shoryuken because it comes out in the same frames as your standing light. Yeah, it's just incredibly fast, and you can make it safe, of course, with fireworks. So there's no reason not to do it in your block strings, unless you're trying to teleport or mix up or something. Let's move on a little bit. Bold canceling in general has actually changed a bit. It's much more consistent now, but you have to be a lot tighter when you're inputting it. Otherwise, you're going to get like a jump, or you're going to accidentally get like a what's that move called? Jet stream. When you're trying to do it too fast, you're going to get the C version of a quarter circle back, which is not good because you have to burn a bar just to make yourself safe, or Dante dies. So you don't want to do that. Moving on, hammer is still usable. It's not the same tool that it was before. Like the invincibility, of course, it's been slowed down by about 7 frames. It comes out on 11 instead of 4. So in that aspect, it's not nearly as good. You can't just throw it out and become safe wherever the heck you are. You can't just do it on people's heads for no reason. But you can still use it for double and triple overheads for block strings. So that's still really nice. You can still do jump S on somebody's head and then cancel it into hammer and make yourself safe. But somebody like Ryu could actually Shoryuken you out of it because it's not perfect on block stun. But you can use it for a mix-up, so it's still a good move. You still get the most damage you can off of a combo that uses it, so that's really nice. Well, a combo that starts off with it, so that's still really nice to have. And it's still safe on block, of course, like I said. So hammer still it's usable, but it's not nearly as abusable as it was. That's the best way to put it, I guess. We're gonna move on a little bit to his anti-air game. That's been changed a bit too. Standing light used to be pretty much your go-to for your anti-airs. You could still manage to chain it into standing medium into standing H and get a combo out of it sometimes, but it's much less consistent in this one because the hit stun pops them out too much, or if you're at max range, they just pop out completely. You don't even get the M sometimes. So for that reason, I actually just use standing M for my anti-airs now, because it goes straight into S, and you can go into your bread and butter from there. Relaunch into your clay pigeon or whatever. So standing medium is basically going to be your go-to now for your anti-airs. It's a little bit slower, of course. It's got like 10 frame startup instead of 8, but it's still very, it's still very good. You just kind of have to read them a little bit more with their jump-ins, which shouldn't be too hard. I mean, if Taskmaster's jumping at you, what's he going to do, Move on a little bit. There's something that's still in the game called boulder guarding, which is really great. That's why I'm setting him up to do a Shinko Hadouken. Some people might know this as jump cancel blocking. Basically, you do a normal and then you bold cancel, and you actually, like, just because it's a full screen hyper and it comes out, you know, in a small amount of frames, you just become blocking in that state. Instead of jumping, you basically jump canceled into a block, which is really nice. You can do it at any point during your normals. Of course, not during Stinger, because it'll actually just force you to jump, so that wouldn't work. But yeah, it's just a way to make yourself safe. It's really useful in this one because it works out against Doctor Strange, it works against Hawkeye, works against Ryu, works against Dormammu, you know, Akuma. It's a really useful tool to have in this new one. His bread and butter combos, they look very similar. They feel a little bit different. During that first bread and butter, you actually have to hold forward for the H to connect correctly on the way down from your airplay. But other than that, the combo, you know, it'll work mostly as long as you get a clean hit. If you don't get a clean hit, if you start with an assist, you're going to have to do a much shorter combo, which is actually the same combo you have to use against short characters. So I guess I'll go ahead and snap in a short character to show you. We'll use the raccoon, which, by the way, I hope this guy's really good later on. But yeah, against the raccoon, you're going to have to shorten your bread and butter significantly, because the standing S is always going to whiff, because they're just going to pop out of it. I mean, once in a blue moon, you can make it work, but 99% of the time, they're just going to pop out. So for that reason, you're just going to go BC, Killer B, you know, bring them back down to a regular bread and butter, you know, just etc. That's what you're going to have to do against those guys. The actual midgets in the game are Rocket Raccoon. He's one. Firebrand is considered a midget. I've tested this with all the combos too. It's not just like who I think is short. Arthur is a midget. Joe is a midget, as you can tell. But surprisingly, Amaterasu is considered normal size for these combos. Like your normal bread and butter will actually work on her. You don't have to do this shortened version that does less damage. Yeah, moving on from there. Your bread and butters off of S or hammer are actually going to be your most damaging ones that you can do. You're going to hit like 50 or 60k more than you normally could. So actually try to, you know, trap people into blocking these or getting hit by these attacks more. I guess that's kind of what Capcom was thinking, is they're trying to make you do those more. Basically, you're just, after those combos, you're just going to, you know, Volcano, BC, Killer B. You have to keep it really short because you can't do an airplay in them, otherwise they'll pop out. You know, BC, Killer B, and then, you know, a regular bread and butter from there. In the corner, combos are a little different as well. This is your standard bread and butter if you want to get more meter. The way they basically made it in this game is you have to choose between meter and damage with Dante. Meter is basically that combo right there. That combo is going to get you more meter because it used the C into Cold Shower. But if you want to do more damage, you're actually just going to go C, launch up them there, and then land a Killer Bee, and then go into the combo from there. Now you saw right there, I actually used 3 ground bounces. That's actually a really funny property that's on his new volcano to beehive. That basically you can get a 3rd ground bounce as long as you do just the beehive after, like, you just go straight into beehive. As long as you do that after you're doing the Skyfall, for some reason you'll get another ground bounce, so you're able to extend your combo even more. It's kind of 50-50 whether or not which side of Skydance they're actually going to fall down on, so you kind of have to just kind of get it by vision and, you know, practice doing each one. The front side, of course, you can actually go into the 2nd volcano, so you can do that, or you can just go straight into $1 million to keep it easy. On the back side, though, it always does that hard knockdown that kind of plops them on the ground, so you got to get used to that. Against Sentinel, your bread and butter is going to be a bit different in the corner. You can get C into Cold Shower some of the time, but it's still kind of inconsistent with the way he falls. So instead, you're actually just going to go BC Cold Shower, and then to your bread and butter from there. Now from there, though, you actually have to do a lot more bullets from the clay pigeon to actually pop them up high enough in the air so you can get the stinger, and then, you know, continue your combo from there. So you just, against Sentinel in particular, you're gonna have to do a lot more bullets and be able to identify them, and just, you know, get the wall bounce from there. From here, I'm gonna show you some happy birthday combos. Those are a bit different too. You have to keep them extremely short in this one. Mainly because airplay, of course you can't combo 2 characters with airplay, and then when you go to do clay pigeon, it'll usually only catch 1 character. Sometimes it will catch both, but sometimes it'll just catch just one, so you'd rather make sure you can kill both characters. So basically you're just going to do BC, Killer B, you know, just standard $1 million, that'll do a lot of damage to him. X Factor, and then, you know, continue it from there. You know, just standard bread and butter, but that's all you can really get now. Unless somebody, you know, finds something amazing, that's what you're gonna kind of have to settle for right now, just because hit stun affects Dante so heavily, and his other moves, you know, just pop people out for no reason. Let's go ahead and check X Factor combos while we're in here too, because those are a bit different as well. Well, they're not quite different, but you still have to adjust them because it's X Factor. We'll go ahead and do X Factor level 3 because that's, you know, the fastest one. You have to keep your combos extremely short in there too, because airplay, you'll fall down too fast to be able to follow it up, and you're, you know, a standard bread and butter. So basically on here, you're actually going to have to go straight to C and then just do the relaunch into prop shredder and, you know, do your combo from there. Luckily, you know, since it's level 2 and 3 X Factor, you don't have to do too much damage, but it's just good to have that in mind if you want to do well in tournament, because otherwise you are going to get dropped and you're going to, you know, you're going to lose. I was just showing right there my favorite loop, the Jam Session Infinite, is still very much in the game. It's still a lot of fun. So basically on recap, Dante is still, I mean, I don't think he's S tier anymore. I really don't. I'm hoping I get proved wrong, or that I can prove other people wrong, that he goes back into S tier. But he's still going to be a solid high. Basically, quick recap, airplay is still really good, so keep on zoning with that. He's still a zoning-based character that can still rush down sometimes. You know, just with like box dash H or box dash M for crossovers or whatnot. A lot of his moves are the same. The only one that really got changed too much is Hammer. So don't abuse that anymore. Just use it to read people. Let's see. For anti-airs, go with standing medium instead of standing L, because that'll go into your combos. You can get a full thing out of that rather than just, you know, them popping out of the first hit. So it's a bad habit to break, but getting to the habit of using standing M is definitely going to help you out more in the long run. Bold guarding's still there, so use that. It's very helpful. Let's see. Oh yeah, another thing I forgot to mention, I'm sure you guys saw me doing it in the combo, and a lot of the more advanced Dante players will just think it's normal, but doing, for your relaunches, you know, doing a volcano beehive and getting the ground bounce, and then dashing back and doing an S into clay pigeon, and then into the stinger. A lot of people recognize that from the Isodelica, you know, loop combos that were really popular, but nobody really did them, because I don't know, they were hard, pretty much. You're going to have to learn how to do S into clay pigeon, because it's basically the only way to get a lot of damage out of Dante nowadays. You're going to have to be able to do a volcano beehive early in the combo, and then, you know, get that extra piece, because you can also get an extra volcano beehive because you did that. As you saw in the corner, I mean, that's a very helpful thing to have. So it's going to be hard at first. The timing's a little weird. You have to pop them up at different lengths sometimes, depending on, you know, how much hit stun you had in the combo. But once you learn that and you get that down and you can identify how many you have to do, it helps a lot. So you're going to be able to do a lot of damage from now on. Well, as much as he can. Now, you can only get about 800k off of a standard bread and butter. Well, a little bit less. I can only get like 730. But you know, you still got to work on it. Let's see, for his combos, meter, just think of it like this, general rule, Killer Bee does more damage in the combo, and then, you know, Cold Shower, and then into the Hammer, into the extended combos with assists and stuff, gets you more meter. So if you want more damage, go ahead and do a shortened combo that uses Killer Bee, and of course you could throw in assists too, but and then if you want more damage, use a Cold Shower and, you know, go into Hammer and stuff. Sentinel has different combos on him, midgets have different combos on them. Learn those so you don't drop them in tournament and end up losing to a Rocket Raccoon and looking really silly. Keep it really simple with happy birthdays. Keep it really simple on X Factor, and then yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Opening people up is about the same. You try to cross over with an assist, or you try to, you know, pop them in the head with a hammer after a jump S or something like that, and yeah, just pretty much it. So hopefully you guys get a little bit of help from this, and you don't walk into a tournament and just lose for no reason with Ultimate Dante. You get in the lab and practice this, that way you guys don't make the same mistakes I did. But yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and subscribe to my channel, feel free. I'll try to do more guides like this in the future. I'll try to help y'all out. I mean, I love the community, so that's what I want to do. And then also, if y'all want to head to Twitch TV and subscribe to Boom Gorillas, that's actually our streaming, you know, our streaming guru service or whatever in Texas. Check those guys out. They put up replays all the time of our Texas Marvel players and Texas Street Fighter players. So if you want to, you know, check out how our scene's doing, feel free. Leave us some, you know, comments, get some hype. We always appreciate that. And see what our new events are. It's really high quality stream, so I think you'll enjoy just watching it in your free time. But yeah, guys, thanks for listening. This is Noah Take Your Life Clump, and I'm gonna go ahead and sign out.